Ever since Donald Trump won the 2024 election, the MAGA movement has been more emboldened than we have probably ever seen them before. We have seen hate groups popping up, being more visible in their actions. We have seen violent confrontations all around the country because these people just don't think they're going to be held accountable for whatever it is that they do. Donald Trump has already signaled to them that if you're doing it in the name of MAGA, well, then you might get a pardon. Just look at what happened to the J6ers. And now we have yet another violent altercation where a woman was literally dragged out of a town hall because she was exercising her First Amendment rights. And I try not to be too hyperbolic. I try not to be too alarmist. But this is what fascism looks like. These people are trying to silence dissent with violence. And this is creeping into our system little by little by little. And until we stand up and fight back against it, they are going to try to squash us like a bug. This is the United States of America, and this should not be tolerated no matter what side of the aisle you are on. So let's go ahead and take a look at this clip. It is a bit longer, but I think it's important that we watch the whole thing. And I just want you to take note of the announcer on stage who is belittling, who is mocking the woman who is being dragged out of this auditorium because she decided to speak up at a legislative town hall. We'll go ahead and take a look at this clip, and then we will discuss. And if you do appreciate the work I do, please do remember to subscribe.
72, ever since
women are dying.
Ever since the Roe versus Wade, so doctors are protected against having to be forced to do abortions.
All right, hold on one moment here. Okay, again, you folks who are just popping off with stupid remarks, you're not taking into account the people sitting next to you. There's a bunch of people that came here to hear them. There's an opportunity for you to sound off, but not right now. And because you're not smart enough to know that, you're just crazy people. And what we're doing right now is just pausing while we escort. Get them out. If you can't be civil, get out.
Get up or be arrested.
So you know, folks, when our nation began.
I just want to pause it right here for 1 second because the guy who we are seeing on the screen right now, this is the Kootenai County Sheriff. He's not in uniform. He appears to be off duty, but he is trying to escort this woman out of the audience or out of the auditorium because she said, "Is this a town hall or is it a lecture?" Okay? This is a town hall where constituents come to speak with their legislators, to discuss different policies. Having her removed for screaming, "Is this a town hall?" is absolutely insane. So we'll go ahead and continue on with the clip, but I want you to notice the guy on the screen now is going to hand off this altercation to another set of guys, and he busts out his phone to start recording. This is the Kootenai County Sheriff in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And this is how he is handling himself. This is absolutely insane.
Arrest
There
her?
was some really
You're gonna arrest her?
No, I'm not recognizing you.
What would you like to do?
So, yes, we're going to get to him. We're going to get to him. I promise. We'll get
Yes, it is.
plenty of chances.
This is not a negotiation.
But, you know, the problem is the folks... Oh, look.
I'm telling you to leave.
Look at that. Oh, he's showing how intelligent he is
You too.
with all the
Leave him also.
fine
Let's go.
words he's asking. This was the mission. They came here to disrupt so that the citizens can't hear. The reality is there's a whole bunch of great things that are happening. The problem is we got a bunch of rabble-rousers who just won't allow it to be spoken. So, you know, the thing is,
My name is Robert
what
Norris,
I'm
and
doing up here is I'm
asking you
simply
to leave on
over-talking
video.
you because your
Please
voice
get
is
up or be
meaningless right
escorted
now.
out.
And we're just taking care of the rabble-rousers. And eventually what's going to happen is everything's going to settle down and we'll get back to hearing the legislators. Because really, you didn't come here to listen to me. I just happen to have a nice loud voice and a big microphone.
You're
And
gonna
I
be
can talk
removed.
over all of you. And I can just talk for on and on and on. And look at this. This little girl is afraid to leave. She spoke up, and now she doesn't want to suffer the consequences.
She spoke up, and now she doesn't want to suffer the consequences. I'm sorry, but I thought we were living in the United States of America, where the First Amendment protects this type of speech. You have a peaceful woman sitting in a chair who screams out, "Is this a town hall or is it a lecture?" And all of a sudden, she is now being dragged out of the auditorium for exercising her First Amendment rights. And the announcer up on stage has the gall to mock her and says that there must be consequences for what she said. We'll keep on going.
Isn't that the problem that we're struggling with so many of the kids today? Is they want to behave poorly and then not struggle with the consequences. That is shameful. I think what we've got right now is a situation where these folks are trying to filibuster and shut this whole program down. Unfortunately, they're being successful. So all of you who came here to hear the legislators, I applaud you for sitting there and quietly listening. I promise we will get back to you. In the meantime, we've just got to be a little aggressive with some of these folks here.
I will call the
Here. Oh, no, I should be removed. I should be allowed to cry and yell and scream. I should be able to allow to interrupt.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
This isn't the sheriff. Excuse me, Sheriff Norris. This gentleman is assaulting me.
You out
This
now.
man is
You
assaulting
out
me.
now. Let's go.
This man is assaulting me.
You
Is this
out
your
now.
deputy? Is this your deputy? No, don't fucking touch us. Is he a deputy? These are deputies. Who the fuck are these men?
So how about that?
Hey!
It's too bad that we have some 150-year-old Social Security recipients. We know that government has been mismanaging money for decades, and we want to get up there now and
So I just want to pause it right here because you'll notice she's saying, who are these guys? Who are these guys? They're not in uniform. She continues to ask if they will identify themselves, and they will not. And this is just not acceptable. How is she supposed to know in this moment that she's not going to be put in a van and dragged out to an Aryan Nation ranch? How is she supposed to know that in this moment, where you have the Kootenai County Sheriff handing off this altercation to unknown dudes in the audience? How is this okay? At a legislative town hall, no less, where constituents come to address their legislators. This is despicable. It should not be tolerated anywhere in the United States, and we need to stand up and fight back against this. I'll continue with this clip. It's only got a few seconds left here.
Who are these guys? Show your badge. Don't touch her. Who the fuck
Just
are you?
cooperate, it'll be 100 times better.
Yeah, that's what they say to rape victims. You fucking piece of shit. You refuse.
That's right. They didn't identify themselves. They are not wearing any sort of uniform. What is she supposed to think? This is absolutely ludicrous. This should not be tolerated. This is not acceptable. And I don't even know what I would do if I were there in that situation, because it looks like a couple of fascist thugs are trying to drag this lady out because she voiced some discontent at a legislative town hall. A couple of her friends later gave an interview with, I think it was a Boise news station. Let's go ahead and watch this clip.
Nobody knew who these people were that were assaulting her and pulling her away.
Who are these guys? Who are these guys? Show your badge. Who are you? Don't touch her.
They pulled her out of her seat.
And she wasn't doing anything threatening. She was sitting in her seat, not doing anything threatening.
And into the hallway while Sheriff Norris filmed. Kuntz and Signs Carmelis say the MC of the event spurred it on.
He called her a little girl multiple times. Also said, you know, your voice is useless or doesn't want to be heard here.
Look at this. This little girl is afraid to leave. She spoke up.
Coonson Signs Cormellis, as well as Coeur D'Alene police, say Borrenpohl was cited. The battery charge stems from allegations that she bit one of the security officers.
In my opinion, that sounds like self-defense.
Kootenai County Republican Central Committee posted on Facebook saying Borrenpohl was arrested and that she disrupted the town hall and vocally cheered for any DEI initiatives.
It was evident that dissent was
Not being tolerated.
It was evident that dissent was not being tolerated. In the United States of America, this is what fascism looks like, folks. Silencing dissent with violence. That is what we just saw here. Each and every American should stand up and push back against this type of behavior. It was later identified that the people who were who dragged her out of the auditorium were private security. The Kootenai County Sheriff claimed he had no idea who these people were, didn't have any affiliation with them, but they did not identify themselves. They weren't wearing any sort of private security uniform. And by the looks of local laws or ordinances, it appears as though they may have been breaking the law because they weren't wearing a uniform. And to do a type of arrest like this doesn't seem within their purview. I might do a video a bit on that later, digging into some of the details here. But what we just saw is not okay. When a constituent shows up to a town hall to address their legislators to push back against some of the insanity that is currently taking place in our government, this is the forum where those things should be done. And now you have a woman who was sitting there in her chair peacefully, who yelled a couple times her discontent, and then she was dragged out by a couple of fascist thugs. The KCRCC is the Kootenai County Republican Central Committee. They are the people who put on this event. And they posted to their Facebook after this event, and I just wanted to highlight a few different things that they said here. Extra deputies and security personnel deployed due to an active threat targeting one of the participating legislators. So they are accusing Teresa Borrenpohl, the woman who was dragged out, of being an active threat against a legislator. You saw what I saw. And that statement seems like a load of shit to me. They then go on to say, the event quickly spiraled into chaos as leftists and Democratic Party activists, including Democratic candidate Teresa Borrenpohl, relentlessly disrupted the event by verbally attacking the legislators. Borrenpohl, alongside at least 5 other recognized activists from local progressive circles, including 2 fellow Save NIC members. They shouted down the legislators with insults. I wanted to highlight this because this is their ongoing effort to dehumanize anybody who considers themselves a liberal, a progressive, a leftist. We are the enemy, and they are constantly on the attack. They go on to say, the group vocally cheered any mention of diversity, equity, inclusion. Oh boy, too bad, huh? Initiatives erupting in applause and chants while loudly booing every reference to the Bible or President Donald Trump, drawing sharp rebukes from attendees. She refused, violently resisted removal, and apparently bit a security guard in the struggle. What she did was mild compared to what somebody like me would do. You have unknown men coming to drag you out of a public forum. I would call that self-defense. They didn't identify themselves. They didn't identify themselves as security. They weren't wearing any sort of uniform. Like I said, how was she supposed to know that they weren't going to put her in a van and drag her out to some ranch somewhere? What we just saw is just unacceptable on every single level. I'll finish up by saying the disruption appeared premeditated, as Save NIC and North Idaho Republican Krista Hazel had publicly rallied her activist base to flood the town hall, fueling the disorder that unfolded. The last I checked, when you have a legislative town hall, all constituents are welcome to address their legislators, to go for dialogue, for discussion, about different things that are happening within our government. To say that this is somehow premeditated because you had Democrats there at a Republican-led event is absolutely insane. These people are trampling all over the First Amendment, and they feel emboldened to use violence because Daddy Trump said, I'm going to set free the January 6thers. Violence doesn't mean nothing to me as long as you are doing it in the name of MAGA. We have to stand up against this. This should not be tolerated from anybody on any side of the aisle. And we have to call this fascism out because that is what it is. Silencing dissent with violence. This is a staple of fascist ideology. And they believe that because Daddy Trump won the election and they have some delusion about some massive mandate, that they can treat all of the opposition like this. They want to shut us down, and we cannot allow them to do that. So, please do share this video. This is something that needs to be spread far and wide. This is something we need to alert the rest of America to. This is not the type of behavior we should be tolerating in the United States of America, where the First Amendment provides that even speech that you don't like is protected, especially when you are at a legislative town hall. If she were up on stage being a disruption, if she were being belligerent and causing a ruckus, then maybe you would have grounds to remove her. But she was peacefully sitting in her seat, expressing some discontent, and these fascist thugs decided to drag her out. Absolutely unacceptable. We should not stand for it. We need to push back every step of the way. So I will leave it there for now. If you guys got anything out of this video, please do remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Maybe share with a friend or two. I'd very much appreciate that. We've got to build something here on the left that can adequately push back against this right-wing media ecosystem that facilitates and cheers on these fascist actions. So if you do appreciate the work I do, please do remember to subscribe. If you want to see Elon Musk making an absolute fool out of himself at the CPAC conference, go ahead and watch that video on the screen now. It is a doozy. It is my understanding that a GoFundMe has been started for Teresa Borrenpohl so she can pursue legal challenges on this matter. If you would like to donate to that cause, the link is in the description below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on the next one.